How do you claim a foreclosure overage? Well, this is Attorney Bob Diamond, and I'm going to give you the skinny on how to do it. Now, there are essentially three different kinds of foreclosures you could be dealing with, so I'll deal with each of them separately. I'm going to talk about mortgage foreclosure overages, deed of trust overages, as well as tax foreclosure overages, which means property tax. So let's start at the end with property tax foreclosures. So property tax foreclosures are typically held at the county level. It could be the tax collector that's running it. It could be a collection department. It could be the county treasurer. So what you want to do is figure out who's actually doing the foreclosing and then approach them and ask them how to apply for the funds. And whoever has the funds has the process to apply for it. Generally speaking, you're going to find that the funds are sitting either in that tax office or if, say, the sheriff held the sale in the sheriff's office, and there they're going to have what's called an administrative claim process to claim that money, which essentially means they have a form that you'll fill in. Usually have a couple of attachments. Commonly, it's the ID of the person claiming the money, meaning if you say, I'm Joe, the former owner, you have a copy of Joe's ID so that you can say, oh, that's Joe Smith, was the former owner of the property. Sometimes they'll want some supporting documents, not much. It typically might be something like a copy of the last deed on the property, which you can easily get from the courthouse. So nothing too difficult with that. You turn in the form and they'll process it, they'll ask any questions, and they'll give you back the money. Sometimes the money is going to be held in court. And that a couple of states do that, like for example, in the state of Ohio and the state of Delaware, they hold the money in court. And when the money's held in court, that means that you're going to file something called a petition to get that money out. Now, petitions are not very complicated. It's definitely something you need an attorney to do. Just, when you get into court, I can tell you as an attorney that just the mechanics of it can get very confusing. So it's something that you would hire an attorney to do. Not terribly expensive work, not terribly complicated. When we hire attorneys to do petitions in our overages business, because I'm in the business of doing overages, we're usually budgeting $2,000 to $2,500 in total for that legal work. So it's not terribly expensive in the world of law because it's not terribly complicated. Anyway, the petition gets filed. What happens is that copy will get sent to the foreclosing taxing authority and anybody else that has an interest in the property, like maybe a lien holder or mortgage holder. They'll get copies, and then everybody can come to court and ask for the money. And generally speaking, the former owner is going to get that money. Of course, I'm speaking generally. Every case is individual. Given more time, I could give you all the details and flesh that out. So there's not enough time in this video, but I will give you a resource to get more details, and it's called the Intro to the Tax Overages Business, because I do this as a business. You may see a link up there for it, or there's definitely one down below this video. There I'll get into more details, but let's stay for this video at a little bit higher level. So when you apply for money with the court, again, not a terribly complicated process. The judge will make a decision and give the money. Generally speaking, the former owner is going to get any money left over after the debt is paid. For example, if it had a mortgage on it or anything, that's going to get paid. After that, the former owner is going to get paid. So that's tax overages. Mortgage overages are not much different. Mortgage overages are always going to be in court, and all that you're going to do is file a petition, and then it'll get served on whoever has an interest, meaning lien holders on the property. Everybody gets a chance to come and say their piece, and then the homeowner is going to get whatever's left over. The creditors will get the monies that they're owed. Now, I'm giving a high level. There are lots of things that we do when I handle overages to minimize other claims. I know how to challenge mortgage companies and to get them to take much less or to get nothing. Again, it's too much to get into in this video. Go watch the Intro to Overages video if you want to see more about that. But in any event, it's a judicial process. Usually time-wise, we're budgeting about 6 months to get a claim through. They often go faster than that, but things can go and holidays come and continuances happen, and it takes a while, but not too long. I guess in the court world, 6 months is not a long time, and sometimes it's a little bit shorter, but pretty easy process. Again, that petition gets filed and get paid out. Now, with the trustee sales, it's slightly different. With the trustee sales, which if you're not familiar with that term, that's from deed of trusts, which are pretty much the same thing as mortgages, but it's a way that they secure finance against the property in typically the western states, like Arizona and California and Nevada and places like that. Anyway, in that case, there's not a judicial, meaning court sale. Instead, the trustee sells off the property. The trustee is a private individual, usually an attorney. They sell off the property on behalf of the creditor. When there's money left over, however, the creditor does not get that money. When there's money left over, just like the other kinds of foreclosures, the former owner is entitled to claim that money. And generally speaking, what you want to do is contact the trustee to find out if there's excess funds or an overage left over. And if there is, to ask them how to apply for it. A lot of times what the trustees will do at that point is deposit the money into court and then just in the normal court petition process. And that was most typical. But trustees can handle these things in slightly different ways. They can give out the money directly if they want to, but often they'll just deposit it in court, then you just do that process. So what I would say, generally speaking, if you're trying to get this money, if it's just administrative, then you really don't need an attorney to do it. If it's not, then you would want to get an attorney. But the good news is not terribly expensive to do, and they can help you out with those details. Now, if you're looking at this as a potential business, rather than if you're a homeowner that lost your property, although if you're a homeowner that lost your property, you might have just the right compassion to even do this as a business. But in any event, if you're looking for a business, I do this business. It is a great business. It's a business where we help people that have lost their property to some kind of a foreclosure, tax, mortgage, trustee sale. They've lost their property and they think they've lost everything. They have no idea there could be any money left over or even how they would go about applying for it. So when that happens, we help people get the money and we get paid a percentage. Now I'm a lawyer, so it's a normal percentage fee case, but you don't need to be a lawyer to do this. If you need a lawyer, you can hire one. And if you're working in an administrative state, you don't need a lawyer at all. So it's a great business even for non-lawyers. And what I think is best about it is that we're helping people. We get people that are just completely down and out. They've lost everything, and we're there, helping them recover. And just a couple of examples I give you. There's a woman named Carrie Johnson up in Connecticut who fell in a hard time. She got injured, so she couldn't work anymore, and she ran out of money. After a couple of years, she just completely ran out of money. She had inherited a house. She lost the family house because she couldn't pay the taxes. They foreclosed, and she ended up out in a homeless shelter. We helped her get her money. We got her over $32,000. And that got her back into life. That got her into new housing. She lives in a townhouse now. She got herself a car. And she was also able to then get Social Security, a small pension going again. She got a disability payment. So she's fine now. And really the spark of all that was us reaching out to her and saying, Carrie, we can help you get some money. Would you be interested? And she really needed a hand up. She was just so despondent that she couldn't even help herself. So we helped her. And today, she's living a normal life. And frankly, between you and me, I don't think she would be around today without us, because when we found her and got her the money, by the time we got the money, she was literally days. It was a Tuesday we got her the money. On Saturday, she was due to be pushed out of the homeless shelter because she had timed out. She'd spent more time than she was allowed in there. So she would have been pushed out in the streets of Connecticut, in Hartford, Connecticut, in February in the winter. And I don't think you're going to make it in the streets of Hartford, Connecticut in the winter. You're just not. I lived in Connecticut. It's very cold up there during the winter. So anyway, this can be a business where you literally save someone's life. I have another one of my students, because I teach the business. One of my students helped the person you see the picture of. That lady was in her 90s, lost her home, and ended up living in a Walmart parking lot in her truck. And my student went there and got her $25,000, and that helped her get her back in housing. Because a senior citizen in her 90s living in the Walmart parking lot in that truck, that is outrageous. And it's wrong, and it's just terrible. And this is a business where you can help fix some of those things just by doing your business, just by actually getting the lists of people owed the money, getting the money that's sitting there, and reaching out to people and say, hey, would you like some help with this? We found some money that you're eligible to claim. When they say yes, you get them the money. You give them a big windfall that literally can be life-changing and life-saving for them. And that's why I love this business so much, because you really are doing that. So if that sounds interesting to you, if like the business where you're helping people and making great money for yourself and your family, if that's appealing to you, you definitely should check this business out. And I've prepared a video called the Intro to the Overages business video. You should see a link up above my shoulder. If you don't see the link, it just means your browser doesn't support that feature. Then just down below in the description, there's a link. In the Intro to the Overages business video, I go into more details about this business, tell you about more how it works. And if it appeals to you, you should definitely do it. It's a low-cost business to start. You can do it as a side business if you want to. It can be great that way. Or you can make it a big business like I have. And it's a great business. There are lots of these sales. There's millions and millions of dollars sitting there just waiting to be claimed. And most people have no idea the money is out there. Matter of fact, one state did a study for 3 consecutive years. They looked to say, how many people get their money versus don't? And here was the stat. Less than 30% of the money was claimed in any given year. So really, essentially, 7 out of 10 people didn't get their money back, and only 3 out of 10 did. So most people have no idea there could be any money left over from one of these sales. They don't think about it. They're just all stressed, trying to figure out a place to live. Can I take the dog, and how am I going to tell the kids? And it's just so totally stressful time. They have no idea there could be any money. So when we reach out to them, and maybe if you go in the business, when you reach out to them, they're surprised and thrilled that they could get some money. And when we help them get the money, they're beyond thrilled. So I get a lot of thank you notes all the time. So anyway, if this is appealing to you, click on the link for the Intro to Overages business video, or click on it below, and I'll see you over the intro video. And I'll show you how you can do this and make this your business and really have an amazing business that's fulfilling, rewarding, and profitable.